Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. First things first, guys, make sure you smash that like button. And as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new around here. On the road to 7,000 subscribers, every new subscriber really helps. So please do hit the subscribe button, people. And let's dive straight into today's video where I'm going to be discussing whether Chelsea's Champions League qualification hopes are already in big doubt after just 5 games of the season. Obviously, I'm going to be looking at some stats, the number of points required on average to qualify for the Champions League, and giving my own opinion on where Chelsea are currently at right now. So please do let me know your thoughts in the comments below on today's video. But obviously, Chelsea is sitting 14th in the table so far after 5 games. 5th place could get you Champions League qualification this season, but we'll have to wait until January to find out when the coefficient gets released. So we need as many British teams to get through the group stage as possible to make that 5th place qualification a reality, which, let's be perfectly honest, is what we need to really, really help us qualify. But if the last few seasons, and this is based on a top 4, points required. So if we go over the last 10 years then, which is down here. So 13-14 season, it took a very high 79 points to qualify. We had 70, 66, 76, 75, 71. And then the last few seasons, 19-20, 66 points. 20-20, it took 67. 21-22 season, that was Spurs with 71 points qualifying. And then the 22-23 season, last season, was again 71 points with Newcastle qualifying there. So obviously we have the average points from 2001-2 season to the 2021 season, 69.6. It's probably averages around 70 points to qualify for Champions League football based on the top 4. Now, of course, top 5, that might come slightly down over the last 2 seasons. 5th place, 69 points, Arsenal, and last year's 5th place, which was Liverpool, with 67 points. 5th place could get you that. So you're probably looking at high 60s if you want to come in 5th place in the league, which could well be enough. Now, if we look at Chelsea's point scoring over the last few, you see all this information here has been gathered from Transfermarkt. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go all the way back to 2004-5, but if we go over the last 10 years, you know, statistically, we've done very well. So obviously in the 13-14 season, 3rd place, 82 points. 14-15, we won the league with 87 points. We were then 10th in the 15-16 season with 50 points. Won the league the following season with 93. 17-18, we got 70 in 5th place. 72 points in 18-19 under Maurizio Sarri for 3rd. Then 4th place under Frank Lampard, 66 points. 4th place under Thomas Tuchel with 67. We then came 3rd with 74 points in 21-22. And then last year, we had a massive dive, 44 points. Now, this is where I'm at right now with the Champions League qualification, people, is that obviously we are in a bit of bother. Obviously, 14th in the table, but given the points that we scored last season, which was a measly 44, to even have any chance on average of qualifying for the Champions League based on the top 4 positions, we need to find another 25 points, or 26 points really, from last season to put ourselves anywhere near in contention to Champions League. And on the face of that, 26 points, you're looking at another 9, just under 9 wins. Looking at another 8 wins, minimum. 8 wins to get us 24 points. 9 wins, really. We did an extra 9 wins this season to put ourselves back in Champions League contention. But that's even without putting into account other teams improving, other teams picking up more points, with how competitive the Premier League is right now, with teams like Newcastle, Brighton, Liverpool back in the mix, Tottenham starting very well this season as well. There's about 8 or 9 teams going for those top 4 or 5 spaces. And I think the points total to get in the top 4 or the top 5 is going to be even higher. So I think you could be looking at somewhere around 70 to 75 points to potentially get into those Champions League spaces, which is going to be a very tough ask. And there are going to be a number of teams capable of doing that, which makes it all the more difficult, which is why, given Chelsea's start to the season with 1 win from 5 games, sitting on 5 points after the first 5 games, and already sitting 7 points outside those Champions League spaces at this stage of the season, it makes a tough reading. And I'm not saying it's over, but the numbers don't lie, the stats don't lie, and there's going to have to be a remarkable improvement from a side that don't know each other well, are all getting to grips with playing with one another. It's a new manager, new system, new way of playing. A lot of young players all need time to develop, all develop at different rates, are going to be inconsistent. All these ingredients aren't conducive to a team being able to put together a good run of results and pick up a consistent run of wins, which is exactly what we need to do. We could feasibly be in a situation come the next international break after Villa, Fulham and Burnley, where we're 12 points off pace for the Champions League spaces. And you could almost say, come the end of October, that our chances of qualifying for the Champions League, we're finished. And that would be absolutely ridiculous. It really would be. But the reality of the situation is, guys, that we've got to find 9 more wins than we did last season. And we've got to find another 26, 27 points just as a base level, without taking into account anyone else's improvements with the teams in and around that are trying to qualify for those Champions League spaces as well. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to do it. I still back the team. I said at the start of the season we qualify for the Champions League, but I'm just putting it out there that this is becoming more and more difficult now. Already at this early stage of the season, we cannot afford to drop too many more points. We are going to drop more points. That's just a fact. That's just a reality. We will get better, yes, but how long is that improvement going to take to arrive? That's the big question. And could it even be this season? Can we actually get into the Champions League this season? You look at similarities between, say, the Chelsea project and the Man City project as such. Now, look, I said we have to get Champions League football this season, and I stand by that. I think it wouldn't be good for us to go a second season without Champions League football, not just from a football perspective, but from a financial perspective as well. Like, these things are this is not good for us to be in that situation. But at the same time, there are similarities between what Man City have done and what Chelsea are trying to do. Man City, multi-club model. Certainly they were signing young talents right at the start of the project, sporting directors with a structure. A massive squad overhaul was overseen when Pep arrived. And they were signing a lot of players under 25 at the start of the project. Now, if you compare that to what Chelsea are doing, in City's first season of their current ownership, so the first season of the Abu Dhabi ownership, they finished 10th. The season after that, they were 5th. In their third season, they came 3rd and added their first trophy. And in the 4th season, they won the Premier League. So it took Man City 3 years to get Champions League football and win a trophy. If that happens at Chelsea, our fans would have wanted them out after the first year. Now, I know there's standards at Chelsea, and perhaps when the owners came in at City, they were in a slightly different place where the club weren't successful. It wasn't like at Chelsea. But having said that, people, we do have to be patient, and as fans come to a realization, whether we think it's acceptable or not, or whether it's the standard of Chelsea, is that we may well go another season without Champions League football. But in the long run, which is what this ownership are looking at, the investment route that we've gone, the recruitment route that we've gone down, is not conducive to achieving results in the short term. It's to being very, very successful in the long term over a period of years. And that doesn't mean that the short term we can just do what we want and put up dog shit results. No, it absolutely doesn't mean that. But it means that the outlook is focused more on the long term. But we absolutely have to start picking results up in the short term. And that's a difficult situation facing Pochettino at this point in time, is can we pick the results up in the short term to, keep the fans on side, keep the unrest to a minimum? Because I do fully believe that, like with the City project, that we will, in the next 2 to 3 years, win trophies, start contending, or start certainly putting ourselves in a position to challenge for the title again. But this is a project that is long term. And I know people say, oh, yeah, but football's all about the now, the here and now. And I hear that. It is about the here and now, but it's also about putting building blocks in place for the long term as well. Can we win in the here and now this season? We're capable of maybe winning a Carabao Cup or something like that, but I don't think we're capable of putting ourselves in a decent position to challenge for the league title. Absolutely not. So it's all about putting building blocks in place, making small improvements over the course of the season that are going to set us on our way over the next few years, where we should absolutely be improving immensely, and in 2, 3, 4 seasons be winning that Premier League title. That is absolutely where we've got to be looking at Chelsea right now. But in terms of Champions League qualification for this season, if you're just going by the numbers, it's going to be very difficult for us to do that already after just 5 games. But yeah, guys, that's kind of just my thoughts. I believe we can do it. We can still do it. I believe in this manager in Pochettino that things will click. And when we do get it right, then I think we can be a very decent outfit and have more than enough to get in the top 5. But it's just, when are those things going to click and when are we going to get it right? But yeah, guys, those are just my thoughts on whether our Champions League qualification hopes are already in doubt. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this video. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I'll catch you again in another video soon. Take care, up the Chelsea, and peace out, people.